Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick video on how we as entrepreneurs can communicate our idea in a way that people buy into the vision of what we're trying to do. A lot of times when we think about sharing your idea, we think about a pitch, or like a formal presentation, or a setting where it's all polished and put together and prepared. But a lot of times, the most important conversations are more casual. They're just one-on-one. So whether you're talking to a potential investor, talking to a potential strategic partner, customers, even just friends and family, trying to get them interested in what it is you're working on, it's so important that we learn the best way to communicate our idea. And so it's really similar to the sales process. A lot of times we think sales is selling a specific product or service, but a lot of times we're selling someone on an idea. We're selling someone on an area of influence, trying to get them to buy into what we're working on. So we have to think about communicating our idea very similar to that. How can I position this in such a way that it piques people's interest, that gets people excited, that they want to be a part of what we're doing? So that's so important. We need to begin selling before we even begin selling. You should be selling your idea now, even if your product, your service, your platform isn't ready to go. Start selling it now so that people are excited, they're anticipating what's to come. And so when it comes to the sales process, I think there's two really important steps. One is to be intentional and then to be humble. Okay? I say be intentional because we need to be proactive and reactive. We need to be thinking ahead. How can I customize my approach to each person I'm speaking to? Great piece of feedback I got from an investor recently was when you're pitching to an investor, start with the broad vision, the long-term vision about where you're ultimately going, and then transition to short-term execution. So talk about the big picture, then drill down to the details and what you're going to do with it immediately. Whereas if you're talking to a customer, you don't necessarily want to talk about the long-term vision. You want to talk about the immediate benefit that they're going to get from using your system, from using your platform, from buying your product or service. But then we also need to be reactive, meaning after the fact. We need to be able to take that feedback, take that dialogue, that conversation, and learn from it to hopefully change our pitch to get better the next time around. That's where the be humble piece comes in. If we think that exactly the way we're putting it forth is the best way to do it, we're never going to learn from those interactions. Some things I've picked up along the way that have been super helpful for me is one, listen to the first question people ask after you share your idea. If you get that first piece of feedback, a lot of times that'll show you where kind of your weakness is in the way you're communicating your idea. It'll show you where your opportunity is to be more clear or a better communicator, more thorough. And so really pull that. I started writing those things down so that next time around I could change my pitch and answer that question before it even comes up. So usually at the end of a pitch, if people aren't asking questions, it either means one, they're disinterested. So maybe you're just targeting the wrong audience, or your pitch just wasn't resonating with them on an emotional level. But two, it might also mean that you answered a lot of their questions. So that's when you start to judge body language and pick up on additional opportunities to ask questions and dig a little deeper to get their input. So I really think it's important that you listen to that first thing out of your mouth. Another tip that I've been practicing is a lot of times you're at a networking event, whether it's professional or whether it's an entrepreneurial group, something like that. And have you ever been talking to somebody and you're telling them what you're working on, and then someone else walks up and joins the group, and then you feel like you're repeating yourself to that new person in the group when the person next to you just heard your pitch? What I started doing that I get great input from is I'll ask the person I just shared my idea to, I'll ask them to tell the other person what my idea is. Because if they can communicate it clearly, if they can communicate it simply and accurately, I know that I did a good job communicating it to them. So if you get other people to share your idea for you, it's a great way to learn how they're interpreting it, how they're processing what it is you're actually working on. So put some of these things into practice, and the biggest thing is continuous improvement. Start to continually get better. So every time you go in to do your pitch, communicate it a little differently. Be proactive. Think through it before you get there. Think through it before you just start spitting it out. But then also after the fact, think back about what you can do differently, how you can adjust, how you can adapt, and how you can get better next time around. It's working for me. I can feel my pitch getting more natural, and then just practice, practice, practice. Think through these things. Put it together. It goes a long way. You have to be able to communicate it if you want other people to buy into it. It's working for me. Hopefully it works for you. I'll see you soon.